So what are the three elements that your garden needs to prosper? What are they? And most of you can answer this because if you go to your hardware store or you go to your garden variety store, you're going to see the fertilizer and it's going to have NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are the three. But today we're going to focus on something that's easy to put in your soil. It's not expensive. It'll make a crop for you. And it's a great way to be able to have nitrogen fixed, put in your soil, and it's going to be there for the next spring. And that's a pretty simple thing. There's a lot of different of these rhizomes, or that's the bacteria that produce this nitrogen. But one key is green beans. And I'm going to turn the camera around. As you can see this row of green beans right there. And if you look over here, we have another row of green beans. Actually, this one's towards the end of its life cycle, right in there, if I can show you. And then right here is the other row of green beans. And what those green beans are doing, and let me say up front, I'm not a biologist or a chemist, although I took those in college. I'm going to do my best to explain, is they're nitrogen fixing, or they have nodules, which is a rhizome, if I'm saying that correctly, bacteria that is in those nodules. And what they do, they have the capability of actually pulling nitrogen out of the atmosphere, out of the air, and then fixes nitrogen, makes it, and puts it down into that root system, which is a really cool thing because if you buy bunch beans or green beans, you can buy those seeds just about any place that sells them. Even grocery stores will have a little rack. I'd never recommend getting your seeds there. You can order green beans, get you a little packet, and in a smaller garden, it's not going to be expensive at all, and it's going to be a whole lot cheaper than having to buy a certain type of compost that's heavy in nitrogen. I do recommend compost, but here's the thing. If you do start to see that you're not having the greening that you've had, because that's what nitrogen does, it allows for that green leaf, really allow plants to grow quickly and vigorously. That's what nitrogen does. And if you look at that, those green beans right there, very green. If you look at these turnips next to it, you can see they have the nice leafy greens because we've worked hard to make sure our soil has the right amount of nitrogen. But it's a simple thing. Go in and plant those bunch green beans. And let me tell you, there's other things that can do it as well. Peanuts are a legume. They put nitrogen in the soil, but that's a whole different thing. They're harvested. This is a row here that didn't germinate real well, but those are snow peas. They also have the nitrogen fixing rhizome that's on their root system and produce nitrogen as well. So now here's the key. Once you've grown these beautiful row of green beans and you're going, okay, I'm harvesting off of them, and they're also putting the vital nitrogen back in the soil, which was done inexpensively, didn't cost a lot, just the seeds of planting them, is when you get to the end of their life cycle, don't just pull them up and throw them in the compost pile. What you want to do is get your weed whacker, weed eater, whatever you want to do. If you have a cutting blade, or you just have a good, strong, the typical weed eater, weed whacker, you can go along this row and cut those off level with the ground and leave that root system in there. Or you can go get your snippers. If it's a small backyard garden, that's not going to take a lot of time. Just get the snippers, cut them off right level with the ground, leave those roots in there because that's now going to allow those roots to break down and put that nitrogen back in the soil. And it's just an easy thing to do. And it's an inexpensive way to put nitrogen in, and you're doing it in a very natural way. And it's amazing to me that it works with the bacteria in these rhizomes and actually pulls nitrogen out of the air, puts it in the root system, and then we can leave those roots in the ground and have nitrogen for next spring. And your ground will be really prepped and ready to go to have a good season ahead. So there you go. There's how you can grow nitrogen. Sounds kind of amazing, sounds kind of far-fetched. They always say that truth is stranger than fiction. And in this case, it does sound strange to me that they're able to do that, but they do. And it's a cool thing. And you can look out there, there's several different plants that have those rhizomes that can produce nitrogen. And that's always a good choice to put in your garden to help the health of that soil. So thanks again for finding our channel. We always have another video over here you can check out. It'll take you further along in this gardening process. We appreciate it when you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. We'll talk to you soon. Blessings over you, your family, and your garden from Whirlwind Family Farm.